Hello.
Hey, Darcy.
I was gonna say good morning, but I'm like, it's not morning.
Not anymore.
No, I just feel like my days just fly by and then all of a sudden I'm like, I didn't make my calls.
Yeah,
So annoying.
sounds about right.
Right.
Do you do you have like a schedule of certain people you're supposed to call each day?
Yeah, I mean, I got a new CRM, which is a lifesaver because before my CRM was not very effective, and now I'm trying to get everyone on the plan, like the follow-up schedule. So it's starting to be better.
Nice.
Like, like I'd get a buyer call me. I set them up on MLS and never call them again because I just never had a plan, never had a easy
All right.
system as following up. So now I'm feeling so good. Oh, it's the BRO program, buy
Oh,
referral.
yeah.
Yeah, like their follow-up plan is so awesome.
Oh, that's awesome. The My Clients.
Carly
But
Hey,
does that.
Mike.
like the first 3 weeks, had my admin like set up all the plans, like
Right.
past client clan, the new listing clan, the new person. Ugh, so much work. And I'm kicking myself for not doing all in January because here we are in March and I'm like, oh,
Yeah. That's how you know you made the right move though. You wish you would have done it earlier.
exactly, 100%.
That's always what I'm looking for. Whenever I kick myself like, man, I should have done that earlier. I'm like, all right, I made a good decision.
Hmm.
Yeah. And I've got my $1 million clients back under contract with a new house. Never had that before. I had some clients just walk away with from 30 grand non-refundable earnest
Are you
money.
serious? What was their reasoning?
They so they had a bad agent from my perspective. So their agent, let me put it this way, their agent in another state where they were selling said, hell yeah, we'll sell this in the first weekend for 2 million. And they ended up getting like 1.7 something. So
Wow.
um so they're like, we got to look at the cheaper properties. um, and
Yeah, but your
so
seller just gained $30,000 for nothing.
yeah, yeah,
I've never had a client do that, and I think in California it's really hard to get that money. That's my
yeah.
experience. I don't know about you guys.
Well, this was specifically, it'd been under contract since Thanksgiving. It was specifically said as non-refundable. Everyone knew that. And but hey, back under contract now.
Right, for your sake, yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, it was kind of interesting. They were like, yeah, they're about to sell another one of their cabins. Like, yeah, it's different agent. She said it would sell for around 800. Like, hope that's reality. And y'all don't just like throw out numbers and it ends up wherever it is. I was like, well, that's not the way that I work.
Hmm.
Like, what do you say to not throw under the bus? Uh, but we are different, people here on this call. And any a- any stories from you, Jerry, recently? Seems like every other week you got someone from 16 years ago that calls you.
No, did I am working on one right now where they bought the house together. I did the mortgage for them 4 years ago, and they're not married and they're going their separate ways. So I'm doing a refinance for him right now, provided he gets me his documents.
Fingers crossed.
Problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Okay,
Call me back if you still need my help, because I can give you a lesson, but with Chow Weng.
You had a bunch of background noise, Brad, so I just muted it. And well, I wanted to share kind of some cool stuff, but as you guys working with any new clients, Darcy, Carol, Mike, you guys got anything going on, or is it dead?
Yeah, I have 2 new listings coming up and I have a new buyer.
Is that it?
No, but
Well,
I
I've
have
got
five
a
in
listing
escrow
right now that's
now.
not selling, so I'm a little bit upset.
You got a listing that's not selling?
I've just had two go under contract, one close. So yeah, things are still moving a little bit out here, but there's more homes coming on the market. They're sitting on the market a little bit longer. Is that what everybody else is seeing?
I'm
We
seeing
are,
that.
we're seeing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was surprised that Salt Lake, we still had almost a 6% increase year over year in our home prices from last year. So
Ours was 7%. We went up. Yep.
that's awesome. So we're
Yep.
still creeping along, but people are figuring out somewhere to get their money. They're getting it from Jerry. He must be he's got some cartel money or something stowed away there.
The magic man.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, it's kind of fascinating. You know, I've got one referrals while you sleep, just new client, and her business dried up last year. So, but she's been in business for a long time. And one of the things that I saw with her was a lot of times she, like during the conversation, she shared how the prices have gone up really high and no one can afford it. And like my hypothesis that, you know, kind of worked on, I think it's true. She's got the 15% potential clients. You know, the IRS says 100 people we know, 15 are going to move. And I think she's psychologically just not paying attention and kind of saying, oh, yeah, just assuming they can't afford it. When, like you said, Mike, what I found is my clients that want houses, they figure out a way to get them. Have you ever noticed that before? Other people in your office that like I've noticed whenever I want business, maybe it's just with the system, like I just always get it.
I think overall, everybody's just kind of looking at what's coming down the pipe. I mean, you know, everybody's saying, oh, there's going to be a recession. Interest rates are high. Home prices are high. Oh my gosh, I'm going to get out of the business. That sounds like it's going to crash, right? But, you know, as long as I've been in here, it just keeps plugging away. People still need a place to live. They need a place to move to if their job changes. You know, they need to sell. You know, like Jerry was talking about a marriage or you know, somebody splitting the sheets a little bit. That all happens, and that's life. And so that's what we're here for, is to help people in the real estate aspect of it when life happens to them, right? So
Yeah. Yeah, I've got a listing coming up similar what Jerry's had. It's a divorced couple. You know, I helped them get their house 8 years ago, and then one of them's going to buy another house. You know, and I think for me, that was the big insight. Like, I'm probably not going to get 15% of the people I know. Like, it's probably not going to be divided by 12. It's not going to be every month, but kind of over 12 months, like every year, kind of 15% of people, there's some transactions because babies are still born. People still get promotions, demotions, people get married, people get divorced, people die, grandparents move to follow their kids. You know, that's the clients that I've got right now. Their youngest kid moved here and they missed their grandbabies, so they're going to come here. And you know, I think for me, that was the big magic that unlocked this, you know, kind of way of life, is that instead of just chasing people that are, you know, FISBOs or, you know, people that said they're going to move in the next 90 days, like, how can I make sure that I'm top of mind and the trusted authority to everyone I know, that whenever that life event happens, I'm the logical choice. And they don't interview someone else. They just call me and follow my direction. That was kind of my big insight. Like what you said, I mean, no matter the market, those things still happen. What do you think about that, Jerry?
Yeah, I was just thinking, one of the other ones I didn't think of telling you is, did a reverse mortgage 5 years ago for a couple, and she wasn't old enough yet. So you can do the mortgage just in the senior's name that's 62 or over.
Yeah.
And now the downside of that is when the person that's on the mortgage passes, the spouse gets to stay living there, but the access to the line goes away. And so now she's old enough to be on the reverse mortgage. So we're looking at redoing that in order to allow her access if she decides to stay in the place afterwards. And they interact with me on Fun Day Monday and stuff, but I'm sure they're seeing my stuff from Done For You Marketing too. So sometimes it's hard for me to judge how come they reached out to me. But
Yeah.
I don't care why, I just care they do.
Right. Right. At the end of the day, whatever it takes, as long as it's still profitable and doesn't take too much time to get there, right?
Right.
It sounds like you've got several different platforms that you're using there, Jared. Jerry, your Fun Day Monday, what's that? That's a bro thing, right?
It is, yes.
Referral only, and then and then this platform. And so I think it's just being top of mind, like Charlie said. I mean, if we're being seen on several different things by your clients, I mean, why wouldn't they call you? Hopefully they will, but right, that's the idea, is just to be right in the front of their head when life happens to them and they got to move, they got to make a move.
And I think the ones that don't go with me are usually because the agent, if they go out and they buy through a different agent, and they've got somebody that's really their favorite and they push hard for the customer to use that agent. Lender, I think that's probably the ones that I don't get.
Yeah,
That makes
I find that similar in our case. If we don't have somebody that used us in the past, it's because, oh, well, my niece is an agent now, or my sister got her license, or, something like that down those lines. So,
yeah. Yeah, that's so I've got probably like 100 newsletters that I send out once a month, 100 postcards that I send out once a month. And for me, I think me and Brad were talking about this. I probably there's like 40,000 people in my town. I've lived here for a long time. I mean, there's probably 2,000 people that passed the grocery store test. I got like 3,500 people in my phone. And of course, I'm not top of mind with all of them. I can't send them all I could send them all newsletters. I just don't want to spend $5,000 a month in mailing. And one of my questions was like, all right, how do I get the long tail? How do I get the long reach? So that, because it sometimes still shocks me, the people that end up calling me that, aren't on my newsletter. Like, I didn't think we were that close, right? But, for whatever reason, like, I'm there, and I was like, all right, how do I capture more of those so that I'm not just dependent on that small little list. I like my small list, but I want to be able to let it grow too. And so I think, like, I love Reminder Media, the magazine people, like, that's awesome. It's $5 a magazine. Carol Ann, you're the one that reminded me of them again.
I did.
Yeah.
I haven't done them in ages, but I was at my client's house and she got one from a realtor, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
That magazine, do you just send it to like your top 50 or 60 clients, Charlie?
So, I'm not trying to do more real estate, really. I'm happy with what I get. If I was going to do it, that's what I'd do. I'd just send it to my, top 40 or 50, like, influencers, people that, are my top folks. Cause it's $5 a pop, and, think you got to send it every other month. So that ends up being, you know, $125 a month or whatnot. If you just send it to 50.
Yeah, that's what we do. We use that same magazine, so it's pretty awesome. I mean, it looks nice and everything, so yeah, it's classy.
Go make some money, Darcy. That's the purpose of this. And well, I'm glad you hopped on, Tim. Tim, after last week's call, he had a suggestion. He said, you know, I'd love to kind of have a plan ahead of time for what these duo calls are going to be. And you know, last week I talked about the idea of using the if you want, call me because, and really working on, all right, how can we really optimize these videos? And so I came up with a plan. I'd love y'all's thoughts on it. You know, like what would be a good system for calls? And so today's suggestion is a spring market update, what sellers need to know now. And my idea is I want a video that is evergreen for the season. Like I want this video to be valid through March, through April, through May. Like that's the idea. And then my thought next week to have like a client success story. And the idea is have one kind of market update that's seasonal, one client success story, one behind the scenes, and one like, yeah, like those are the three main ones. And I'll share this with you, kind of the idea. If I can find it, there it is. I did this with Tim, actually be able to email this to you on Monday. That way you can kind of have it in your subconscious, kind of head of mind, the idea of the next 3 weeks, the videos being something like this. I saw another friend of mine that he was he worked for a podcast editing and management company. And he talked about, I was getting some tips from him on how to improve the videos. And it's what I do. I just always improve it. What's y'all's thoughts on this? Anything? I've got kind of a more detailed plan in a minute, but would love y'all's thoughts on the idea of being able to know in advance a suggested topic.
I mean, I obviously love the idea. What would be awesome if there were like the specific interview questions that, and I get that we can go off script, but like just like some interview prompts, because that's where I always get a little bit tongue-tied, I feel like.
I like that.
Yeah, days on market. We're gonna have to bring some prep here. In my world.
Yeah. So that's so would like letting you know the day before, would that be good? Or like seeing it now, would you be able to adapt this maybe without actually having the exact day on market, but you could just talk, you know, we've already talked generally, like we're seeing inventory levels a little bit higher. This is what that means. Like how, I'd love to know kind of your thoughts when you see that. Would you feel like you could adapt it? Because my goal for this is I don't want it to be a lot of homework for us, because we're real estate agents and we're in the car and we're putting out fires. And like the power of the duo video is we show up, have a conversation, go. Would there be like, and I guess if I have like questions, should I just put that in bold? Don't do a lot of research unless you want to. The goal is to have a conversation and keep serving clients.
I like it. If I know that, if I get text the questions, I don't know if you'll email it. I might get lost.
Okay, that makes sense. Email, what is that anyway?
I think if we just keep it, like you say, short and sweet, that we don't have to do a lot of homework on the thing, but it's just gonna be updating things that we kind of already know. The market's shifting, you know, week to week. It's not shifting all that much, but it's just something that our clients will need to know for well, just for instance, just since the beginning of the year till now, in the last 2 months, you know, we're seeing homes staying on the market longer. And why is that? So we can just point that out.
Yeah. And, you know, the goal of these videos is, one, we want to be top of mind when they're ready. Two, we want to be seen as the trusted advisor. And three, we want them to call us when they're ready, right? Like that's the idea. And so part of the market update, I think, would be, you know, and it really depends on your situation. You know, like they can sell their house tomorrow if they need or want. There's probably still pockets that you could sell. You know, they're flying off the market. There's probably other pockets that aren't. You know, that like that's one of my favorite things that I got from Joe is, you know, when people say, how's the market? Like, well, you know, it really depends on the location. Where do you live? You know, I can run an analysis for you or that, because that's been my experience. Is that kind of y'all's experience?
Yeah, I think it's where they live, you know, location, whatever. But it's also probably more their needs. I mean, is this we have to hurry up and sell this deal, or, you know, do we have time? What's going on with their needs? I think I found is more important than the actual location type of thing.
No, that's the truth. Yeah. That's the truth. So that's kind of where this is going. I like the idea of trying to incorporate text message and then kind of you know, I was working on like, I'd love to know kind of how much detail would you like to have? Like, would it just be good? Hey, here's 5 questions to ask to interview. Would you like kind of a, you know, more of a what, why, how, now, a list of maybe some call me because, would that be helpful to be able to look at that, have a link to it, or is that just way over the top?
I like it.
Love it.
Yeah. I don't think it'd be over the top.
I think it's just like this week, let's talk about stats. Let's talk about what the market's doing. Next week, let's you know, one at a time. I don't know if everyone's in agreement with that, but like next week, it's like a client testimonial.
Yeah. That's the idea.
Like I just quickly pulled up InfoSparks. I don't know if you guys have access to it, and I could quickly talk about it. I never ever pull it up, but now I have it.
Yeah, make some good use of all those dues.
Right?
Yeah. Well, cool. So that's what I'm kind of moving towards. So thanks, Tim. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I appreciate you hearing the feedback.
Yeah. I may be fat, but I'm slow, you know, so that's my favorite jujitsu comment. And tell my competitors
Oh dear.
See, Charlie, I'm
Yeah.
not fat. I'm just a foot short for my weight.
Yeah, I like that. I might have to take that too. Well, so that's really what I wanted to share. And no, any questions you guys have on your
I have-
results on the
I have
program?
a question, but it's not about this particular thing.
Yeah.
How much information, when I'm putting, like potential real estate agents, financial planners into my clients, how much information do you need on them for them to start seeing our info? Like
Minimum.
just name.
So minimum is name or email.
Okay.
No, phone number or email. That's the minimum.
Okay.
And then the more info we have, the better, up to first name, last name,
23
phone, city, state, zip, even birthday. The more info we have, the more likely they're going to see you everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah, I just put something in the chat. So I was actually talking with Dana yesterday, and what she shared was pretty cool because every time she does videos, she she'll put like she'll either use like if you're in buy referral, they use the Bro AI language for the video, but she also interweaves the story brand framework in it, so the video is like a story is like it's compelling, it's interesting. So because they're when they see you, like they'll want to click on the video, but then to keep them there having the story. So I just was messing around with ChatGPT on that, and that's on this document that I shared with you guys, because I know Tim was saying, hey, I would love to have specific questions. This could be really helpful too, and really helpful for you. I mean, because remember, like sometimes I'm getting better at it now, but I just forget about ChatGPT and or the different AIs. I'm like, oh wait, what are you doing? You're like you're thinking too much. So I'll go in there and I'll do that. So like you might see a topic and you might even see some questions. You're like, oh, okay, cool. At least I have some questions. I can kind of freestyle and do my own thing. But you could take a topic that you like and then really just go into ChatGPT and start a thread that is saved, so that starts to know you, Tim, and your language patterns and you and who you are, and then put that in there and just say, hey, look, this is the topic this week for our duo videos. I really, would like to share this. I really like to, share this to my potential seller clients. Kind of highlight the seller clients, because I know that Carol Ann mentioned like, okay, we're doing maybe some buyer stuff. Let's focus on sellers, or if you want to focus on buyers. This one, I did it both on this Google Doc, and it was basically about not focusing on the price of the home right now. It's focusing on the payments, and like this is where Jerry really comes in, because it's like he knows the exact payments, and he has a conversation with one of his real estate agents saying, a duo video, and it's like, hey, we were just talking about focusing on the payments, not the price, and how this is advantageous for a seller when a realtor is explaining this to their potential buyers, and this is kind of how this works. And let me tell you the story about a recent couple that I've helped that that went through the process of looking at it and getting over the $1.2 million purchase price, and then seeing that what the actual payments were and what that meant for them, and it was a completely paradigm shift for them, where they're just like, oh my gosh, okay, I actually can't afford this. It isn't scary anymore.
I like that framework. I really liked this symbiosis of taking like different ideas, like take the story brand and take selling the invisible and smash them together for the story, something like that.
Yeah, exactly. It's because I thought about that, and I was like, oh, that's a great idea. The story brand framework, putting that in there. She said that it's just that's what her and her team do, and she said that's been, so it's beyond the theory of like, oh, just try this. It's working for her. Those videos are working for her.
Nice. And that's what Dana and her team is doing.
Yep, exactly.
Perfect. Well, any other questions? I'd like to just have time to just do the duo videos.
We also had an interesting thing come up. I was doing a duo yesterday with Nancy, and we were talking about buying second home waterfront property. And she made a good observation that would be a nice comparison for this. She said we were watching for properties that had a little bit of elevation so that we wouldn't have to worry about flood insurance, because that way I could take that difference in payment and buy more house compared to paying flood insurance. And I thought that was an interesting observation on it.
I like that. And well, one other thing I did want to share with y'all is, you know, we're rolling out where we're doing the post from these videos where we're actually creating the short little clips as well as the long clips. And I might have shared with some of y'all, we rolled this out for Jerry recently. And so what we're doing, it's what I've been doing for myself for Referrals While You Sleep now since last July. It took a long time to be able to figure out how to do that at scale. And so what we do is we're taking the videos and we're showing the clips. We're also, this is one of the testimonial images. So now you guys will actually be able to see the post, not just going into the back end, but actually be able to see it. And everyone that follows you will see it, which is great. And it's both on Instagram and Facebook. And the other thing this will let you do, which we've had questions about for a long time, we finally figured it out, is if Jerry was logged in here, he would actually be able to edit this if he wanted. So if he wanted to edit any text, he could. So we're rolling that out as we can to folks. And so if you want to be next in that, just put in the chat, and we're putting people that are here on the calls and that want to be next. We're making you all first as we roll this out. I'm super excited about it. Like I said, I've been doing it for myself for a long time, and it's kind of like introducing video. It's another huge leap that I've experienced.
Would you explain that real quick again, like the short version of that, Charlie? Because my mind wandered a little bit.
So we used to just run Referrals While You Sleep through the Google Ad Manager or Facebook Ad Manager. And so like you didn't ever, it was rare that you would actually see the content for yourself. And what we've been wanting to do is actually be able to post it on your public page for you.
Oh yeah.
And also run the system in the background. And so it ends up being a really great 1-2 punch. Everyone that automatically follows you sees it, plus we're pushing it out.
Gotcha.
And it gives you the ability to edit it really easily. So now it's just more people are going to see you every day, different post. And I mean, at the end of the day, that's what we want. We want to be top of mind with everybody we know.
Yeah, that's so. I mean, because that's kind of a good thing even to put into like a signature line, or somewhere on your website. Hey, just like for to get onto that Facebook so they can be a follower. Just if you're saying, hey, like the call to action might be like, know the most critical cutting edge things in real estate that you need to know right now if you're selling or buying, something like that. And then there's a little link to it. As I think is really just maximizing what you have here with this new posting ability, and keeping the eyes there, which is going to keep your ads there in front of them.
Right.
So I like that on a signature line. That would be a good one to get people to the Facebook. Because before it's like, why would you even want to get people to your Facebook? I mean, yeah, of course to see your video, but like now it's like, okay, yeah, because I want them to see everything.
And what I've found, especially with Instagram, I mean, when I meet people, they go to my Instagram and they look me up. And what's cool is even if they don't follow me, if they just go and see it now, Referrals While You Sleep operates in the background, so they're going to see me for the next year. Even if they don't follow me, just by just visiting it, which is cool. And then of course, anyone that wants to see my stuff and follows me, they're going to see it organic every day. Plus you've got the ad reach, which is really like exponential is what I've seen.
Yeah, it's great.
And so Tim, I was just running some questions. Would love to know your thoughts on these. Like these could be some good questions to ask each other. What's the biggest misconception sellers have about today's spring market? And how can you help them see the reality?
That's good. Yeah. I don't know about you guys, but are you asking for like the answers right now?
Just feedback. Just
Oh, yeah, that's a
the-
good one. I mean, I yeah, I certainly can come up with an answer to that one easy enough.
yeah. And I mean, it could even be possible. I don't know. Like, I can give you three, and you just pick one to ask each other. With these, like you might not need many. Um, but this could be good. What specific property features are buyers willing to pay a premium for right now? I don't even know that you need to say that they weren't prioritizing, uh, unless there is something specific. I kind of like this one. What's your approach to helping sellers set realistic expectations about the timeline? I don't know. I kind of don't like that because some people you just get it on because they got to move fast, and some people they got time. And so my answer to that is I can work both ways.
But maybe the answer is that having 5 or so questions available, and then maybe when you get into the duo room before hitting record, talk about, which ones do we want to hit? Like, do we like, you know?
Yeah. Let's see. So what I'm going to do, let's try this. I'm going to put this in a Google Doc and share it with you guys. And we're just, and that way you guys can have it open, look at it, and we can see how that works. Maybe. I'm gonna stop this share. Hey, Sophia. Do you have time to do a little duo video today?
Call. Jeff was here and then he left to go to a broker's open. I don't know what time he'll be back. He might be back in the next couple of minutes. I'm not sure.
Okay,
I know he's been meaning to do one, so.
perfect. Make all you guys co-host. And
Didn't get the link, Charlie.
it should be in the chat. Did it not go to everybody?
I got it.
Okay. Oh, you did. You did good.
Yeah.
Let's see. Did everybody get the link?
Yep, got it.
Got it.
Perfect. Let's see. So what I did so the way this works when you hop into your breakout room, put the Zoom on gallery mode. And then when you hit record, it'll start recording, hit stop when you're done, upload it to your share link. That's all it takes to get